Thank you. I'm the House Whip, and as you can see by the chart I get to talk about today, it's 200 and 100. 202 bills introduced in the first 100 days. The number of voting days, or voting session days, is 21 compared to the previous General Assembly. We have had 0 canceled sessions as compared to 8 in the previous General Assembly. Bills were passed through the House, 29 compared to 5. First bills introduced, most of our bills were introduced in January versus February of the previous General Assembly. Number of standing committee meetings, 185 compared to 120. And I had asked earlier, maybe we should compare hours versus meetings. And then when you look at when you were in the minority, we had 0 sponsored legislation that came out of a committee or the House as a minority caucus. In the previous General Assembly, we had 0. And in this General Assembly, the minority caucus has 8 coming out of committee and 3 coming out of the House. So it's been a pleasure working with this caucus because, as Matt said before, they're talented, they're gifted, and there's a lot on our plate, and we can do the job. Thank you.
I'm Rod Hostess, the chair of the House Finance and Appropriations Committee, and I have some things to build on, but our Representative Adams just shared. Before I do that, I want to indicate that this team that has assembled in this session of the General Assembly is unique in my experience, and my experience started here as a member in 1981. I have never served with a team that has been more selfless and more focused on doing the right thing. They are here for the right reasons, and that has really been a joy as we have done and continue to do some very heavy lifting in the hard work that these folks have come here to do. As Representative Adams said, there's been a great deal of productivity these first 100 days, and I want to add some features to how we've achieved that. The first thing that we did was right-size our committee structure. We have 99 members, and we need to have an optimum number of committees in order to get the work done that needs to be done. That actually is happening, I think, quite effectively with 10 fewer committees than we had last session. That's been helpful to balancing our workload and focusing it appropriately. In addition, Ohio has one of the leanest legislative budget operations in terms of our internal structure of any in the country, and we're continuing that. We are operating at a reduced level from last session, and we're recommending that we continue to operate at no increase in this next 2-year session in the budget that we're currently considering. Beyond that, we are attempting to introduce additional efficiencies, and one of the ways this is being done is through increased use, greater emphasis on electronic communication, which lowers our postage costs and our printing costs, and this is saving, we estimate, about $100,000 this session by expanding the use of electronic communication. Beyond that, we've attempted to, and I think have succeeded in further opening our process, and that's already been mentioned, as our amendments can be filed freely for House sessions as we deal with our legislative workload in that fashion. I'll have a bit more to say in a minute on another aspect of our electronics.
Thank you very much for being here today. I'm Barbara Sears. I'm the Assistant Majority Floor Leader. You know, it's great that we do a lot of good work, and it's excellent that we're all hardworking, but trying to bring the 4 corners of Ohio into Central Ohio is one of also our goals. And we're doing that in 3 different ways. Not only individually, our members Facebooking and tweeting and doing all sorts of things, but we're also starting to do that as a caucus. Example, several of our committees are using Skype in order to bring talent, shareholders, and interested parties into the caucus that otherwise couldn't make the drive to Columbus, Ohio to participate in the legislative process. It's a great way to make our world small. In addition to that, we tried and experiment successfully using Twitter. during the Human Services Subcommittee as a means of being able to allow more people to participate in what's going on and keep them on a timely and efficient schedule by posting who was talking, when they were talking, whether we were on time, behind, breaking for lunch. So we didn't require Ohioans to spend wasted time here in committee meeting waiting for their opportunity to speak. And that may seem small, but when you've got executives and folks driving 2-3 hours in to participate into the system, they need to know that there's going to be some timeliness and some orderness to that, and this has allowed us to do that. In addition, although we're not formally as a caucus doing Facebook through the meetings, I don't see any reason why we might not see that happening in the future. The ability to take advantage of technology is certainly something that we should be trying to do. Many of us don't live in Columbus, and yet we participate, and the more we can get involved with the work that's going on in Ohio, the more we can be respectful of people's time, we can be inclusive, and we can also be very transparent. So those are just 3 ways that we are attempting to do that. I'll turn it back over to Representative Amistad to continue on. Thank you.
As we've been attempting to put together a budget that will become the House version of the budget, right now we're working on the administrative proposal, we have experienced a great deal of requests for information about how the executive proposal would impact our local government partners, and in particular schools. So what we've done and I want to thank the technical team both in the Legislative Service Commission and in the Legislative Information Systems for how they worked with us this is right off our state legislative webpage. You click on the far right panel and go right down to a tool that allows you to look up by county or by school district or see the entire database of impacts for the executive proposal for school funding and how that plays out, not just in terms of the foundation formula, but all the aspects that impact our schools and how that compares to the resources that they have to operate on at the local level, which is a very important comparison for the public to be able to understand, and also for even school officials who are trying to understand these impacts. So this tool is available, it's online now, and will be utilized as the budget process continues to help people understand budget impacts. It's part of our effort to try to help people with increased transparency of information. Thank you.